What do you do for enjoyment that is somewhat pathetic and sad? Before we start with the first story, please hit a subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Story 1. If I have some time alone, I like to think of my life as a TV series, like The Wonder Years, that's been running for about 30 seasons now. I think about the people in my life and how they rank as primary, secondary, and tertiary characters, how they join and leave the show, have guest appearances, and so on. I like to imagine an internet forum where people speculate about what's going to happen in upcoming series and such. Will they, won't they situations with ladies. Spoiler, we don't. And I think of events in my recent past that culminated in season cliffhangers or Scrubs-like sad endings, like when my dad left the show in season 32. Story 2. While listening to music, I like to imagine myself dancing to it, or my version of its video. I don't dance at all in real life, but I like to imagine I'm a great dancer. I'd love to dance like a pro, but I'm really clumsy. It's so hard for me whenever I take lessons that I eventually quit. I guess my imagination is my last resort. Story 3. I daydream of an alternative life where I am a successful musician, but like to an hysterical level of details. Conda with the media, tour schedules and locations, sound checks, interactions with the fans, charity work, internal fights with other band members, drug issues, rehab and comeback story, live performances, studio sessions, music videos, artwork, etc. It's become so complex that I can navigate it for hours, usually at night. Story 4. Jigsaw puzzles. When I have the evening free and I'm out of things to watch, I bust out one of my 1,000 plus puzzles, pop on a podcast and just go to town. I love hiding the photo to make it more challenging, and I love the crazy ones where the picture isn't on the box, or it's shaped like a bear, or it's a bunch of little pictures to make one large one. You never hear people making jigsaw anymore, but I find it incredibly relaxing. Story 5. Sometimes I search hotels and restaurants on Google and pretend I'm there. I go through the rooms or menu and pick one as if I'm ordering, and I actually put a lot of thought into it. Why? Oh no. Check the prices, the quality, etc. I don't know why. Story 6. I used to watch upwards of 10 hours of YouTube a day. If I ever missed a channel's daily video, I would get so frustrated and felt like they would care. I was depressed, and they felt like my only friends at that point. I couldn't let them down. I wasn't talking to anybody, so it felt nice to at least pretend people were talking to me. Thus, 10 hours a day. Story 7. I collect words. Whenever I stumble upon a new word, be it in a book or movie, I write it down in a journal. It makes me happy for a reason beyond my understanding. I would rather IRL people not know that though. Story 8. I have a lot of imaginary conversations with various people in my head. Sometimes it's people I know, sometimes YouTubers, celebrities or fictional characters, and sometimes people I made up from situations that I imagine could happen to me. I don't know if this means I have severe mental problems or just that I'm lonely, haha. Story 9. I love doing Sudoku or just any puzzles that really challenge me. I find it peaceful. I also have books filled with random space facts. I have no idea why, but I love space facts. I've only shown one other person my collection of space facts, and we'd go through all my books together and add more knowledge we knew together. Although me and that person aren't close now, they'll still message me every now and again with a new space fact to add to my collection. Story 10. I do things alone. I go to the cinema alone. I go to restaurants alone, and I generally go out alone. I have friends, but they feel more like acquaintances as I see them once a week and don't do anything apart from that. And I don't have a lot else to do, so if I want to have a day out, it's likely alone. I even celebrate my birthday alone. And because I've had quite a few birthdays where I didn't celebrate or didn't do much, so I just keep the day for myself now. It's selfish, I know, but I'd rather do what I want on my birthday, and friends and family can spend time with me on the days before or after it. Story 11. At age 33, I joined a senior citizen badminton league. It wasn't restricted to seniors. Exactly, the rec center called it beginner badminton. But I was the only player under 75. The guy that taught me to serve was literally 94. And those old dudes kicked my ass. I was an actual beginner, never held a racket before, whereas most of these guys were practicing for the Senior Olympics. Sometimes, it seemed a little pathetic, playing and losing. matches against people more than double my age, but they were really nice and willing to coach a new player. I showed up 3 mornings a week all winter. By the spring, I had improved enough that the rec center bumped me up to the intermediate, advanced group, which is filled with a bunch of younger Indian players. I still love the game, still play a couple days every week, but there's absolutely no way I could have gotten started if the old folks hadn't been willing to show me a thing or two. Story 12. I play Pokemon Go not because it's a good game or something, but it's the thing that convinces me to go and take walks. I've reached 3,500 kilometers walking with this app since launch. My health is better. My back pain is also better. My mental health has also improved, but I am never going to mention that to people. I've tried walking without the app, but somehow I lose interest faster. Story 13. I love to look at floor plans for houses. The bigger, more elaborate, the better. Sadly, I think I've found all of the most interesting ones. I wish there were more vintage house plans. The ones I have found are often super low resolution for some reason, and considering the writing is already difficult to read makes them rather frustrating to look at. Are there any other floor plan junkies out there? Story 14. I used to write back and forth with a friend I've only ever known online. The story was dumb at times and honestly often turned into graphic violence or really detailed sex. It was a great way to get rid of stress and free write story ideas. We went back and forth in Gmail for about 10 years and I filled 4 Gmail accounts completely. I'm serious. They warn you, you're about to hit your limit. We had a little bit of a falling out and honestly, life has grown very demanding. Both of us work so much now that we took a break. This break has lasted about 3 years. I don't hear from her at all now and I miss her. I've been non-stop writing still. I can't stop. Ideas keep popping into my head. I have 8-10 unfinished stories. One of them is over 200 pages, 2 others over 100 and the rest between a dozen -50 pages. I have lots of ideas written down for the future. Nobody will probably ever read them. I desperately need to find a writing buddy who I won't scare off with smut and mature themes. I'll keep writing in the meantime. Story 15. When the lottery is high, I fantasize about winning it, and I take it to a whole next level of thinking about it, at least as far as I can tell from the people I've talked to. I've planned out how much I would actually take home. I have a spreadsheet. This after off the top state and federal taxes, plus the remaining federal taxes, plus investing that uncollected federal taxes in a short-term investment, and how much I would earn on that short-term gain, and the taxes on that. All of this gives me a final cash award amount I will have after tax day the following year. I then take a certain amount of that off the top as go wild money, and I've planned out how much I can spend on that over some number of years on a daily basis. The remainder of that money I put into an investment corp called Super Huge Investment Trading Corp, SHITCO. Here's a look at the most recent big jackpot. Then I break down how I would asset allocate the funds in SHITCO for the next 2 years as I begin to get acclimated to being filthy wealthy. Once that is done, I figure out what I would immediately do. Like, I've planned out I would send out RFPs to a few accounting law firms explaining my situation with a picture of the winning ticket and what my immediate goals are. That is 1. Maximize personal privacy. 2. Minimize taxes. 3. Immediate short-term low-risk investments. Also, I would like to put the bulk of the funds into some kind of trust, hence the shitco, that I cannot withdraw from for some period. I don't trust myself. I would have to only use the funds I skimmed off the top for living for the first couple of years. Also, what I would do between the time I announced I won and had the money in hand, I wouldn't want to live at home for personal safety. And once I had money in hand, what would I do? I figure I would travel the first year or 2 at least. I would probably take the next plane out, clothes on back, and fly to Vegas. I'd buy new clothes there, then spend a few weeks in every major city, just exploring. I would also love to attend trade shows, to get ideas for where to invest and what to do when I am ready to start putting the money into action. Plus, I'd want to buy a better house somewhere, probably Vegas, where there is no state taxes. Anyhow, you get the idea. Alright folks, that's a wrap. If you like more of this, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your thoughts in the comment below. I'll see you in the next video.